Hi, my name is Jessica Bennett, and I'm going to talk about differentiated instruction. So what is differentiated instruction? Differentiated instruction is a way of teaching that meets the needs of each individual student. The teacher can change and mold lesson plans and curriculums to fit the needs and learning styles of each student. How do teachers differentiate? Differentiation in a classroom really does go all the way back to when teachers were teaching in schoolhouses with combined ages. They didn't have a separation like we do now. And as education progressed, the system made grades. So this really meant that classrooms were made up of students of the same age, not necessarily learning styles. So according to Tomlinson, there are four different ways of instruction. Content is the idea a lesson should cover all of the standard learning that was set up by the school and by the district. And because some of those students are not on the same learning level as other teachers, as other students, the teacher can differentiate the content with different activities. There's 6 levels of learning. There's remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. And examples of some of those would be matching vocabs with definitions, reading a passage and matching related questions, differentiating facts and opinions in a story, and creating a PowerPoint to summarize a lesson, kind of like we're doing today. Process, because each student learns differently, the teacher can use differentiation to deliver the curriculum with different learning styles. There's visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and words. So not all students require the same support. Some need more and some need less. And some of those ways could be providing a book for more visual learners, auditory, maybe stories and books for those types of learners, and kinesthetic learners, they have more time to complete assignments maybe online. Now, product is just that. It's what the student creates at the end of what they've learned to show the teacher that they've mastered this. The teacher can use different things like tests and reports, projects. They can read and write a book report. They can draw maybe as an illustrated story or an illustration to show what they've learned in this story. They could give oral book reports to the teacher, to the classroom, and kinesthetics could maybe build a diorama of a story to show what they've learned. Learning environment has to do with the environment, like with the classroom and the learning area, how it's set up. And as the students need to be engaged and they need to feel inspired by their environment. And some of those things could be like the furniture, what's available. Some teachers have couches and lounge areas in their classrooms to kind of maybe make it feel more like home, more comfortable and inviting. And sometimes the way the classroom is set up and some of the things that are in the classroom can give psychological cues for better learning. And some of those examples would be they could read individually, learn in groups better. And research shows that differentiation studies are highly effective with students of all kinds and not just special needs or more talented or gifted learners. Differentiation in a classroom, what does it look like? To an average person maybe passing by, it may seem like a really organized or disorganized mess, but the teacher really does have a method to her madness. She, she's created this mess. She knows by the different testing and by the different learning styles that from each student, she knows how they learn better. And so they may be verbally learning, they may be in groups, they may be standing alone. There's a lot of different ways, a classroom could look like. But like I said, there's routine assessments and pre-assessments used to get the student on the right track. And so I think differentiation really has set up a standard in classroom. And just even when I went to school many years ago, they didn't have this type of system. Each child was to learn a specific way. They had testing. You learned it, and you were tested on it. And if you failed, that was it. You hope that you learned it later on. So differentiation really has set a standard for higher learning.